work out too well.
Yeah, I would hope that if moving forward, you know, they're going to be picking up the type of combination that they did before, that we do see K-Cool on the sky, and you know, I don't know why, but just it didn't seem that Great Khali was very comfortable there.
Yeah, and it just comes to show, like, I do feel that Mr. Keiko will be picking up this guy this game, that they specifically grabbed him first for him.
All right, well, Team Secret, they're going to take that glaive. It's going to be a Palmatoro glaive and a Mowgli Fortress. So these guys, they're going to fight fire with fire here. They have aggression, they're ready to go, and if anyone can jump onto a Sky and delete her, it's going to be a combination like that.
But the thing is, Sky is actually very good going up against Fortress. As long as she's able to get her lock on very quickly before Fortress's heroic perk comes out and he just runs at you, getting that forward barrage out from the target lock just does so much damage to him.
No, I agree with you. It definitely does. But, you know, once they're on top of Sky, it's very easy to kill her. But my question is, now looking at this Vox Sky combination, are we going to be seeing double crystal here?
I do feel like they will lean towards a double crystal. Like, double crystal has been proving itself to work this patch, especially. We saw a lot of double crystal yesterday. As you know, as long as you're getting that pierce out, they can't build enough shield without having to replace themselves in terms of getting that. You know, you either choose shield or you choose damage.
Right.
And they have to do one or the other. They can't just load up like double kinetic shields very early because the damage output won't be coming out from them.
Well, Team Secret, they pick up that Ringo last pick. We know Kvalifar loves this hero. The damage output potential of Secret right now is through the roof. But Mousesports, I think they have a combination that they can get a lot of work done right here. It's a nice composition. It's a little more balanced. But we'll see. Only time will tell, guys. We've loaded into the game, so let's go ahead and jump into the Halcyon Fold. We'll throw it over to Action Jackson and Vedius to call all
battle
this.
for the Halcyon Fold.
All right, well, this is going to be an interesting game for sure. Mousesports looking a little bit broken in the last one. Team Secret, they're one win away from securing a spot in the Spring Championships. Sure, they're going to be looking for that. Vedius, what do you think of these comps?
Well, we're seeing very early game coming out from Team Secret, which I think is really interesting. Kvalifar is actually going to be the one playing this glaive up in the lane, and Palmatoro is going to be the one playing Ringo in the jungle. Now, personally, I really like Ringo in the jungle, especially when you pair it up with a Fortress, because you can take advantage of his super powerful early to mid game, and we might just see that right now.
Mowgli has already taken a decent chunk of damage here, but Palmatoro wants to turn things around onto Mr. K. Cool. Mowgli, though, a little bit too low for that exchange to keep going on for Team Secret. They're just going to back off, play it cool. And on the flip side, Mousesports, they're going to back off as well. They don't want to overcommit, knowing that Kvalifar had, at least at the time, roamed down a little bit. Both teams playing very shrewdly and safely.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I was a little worried that my mic was muted just a second ago then, but it does seem that everything is absolutely fine. So, let's talk a little bit more about Mousesports' composition, because they do have the Sky, once again. Mr. K-Cool is the guy that's going to be playing that this game. So they've decided to move Great Khali off that, and he's going to be playing that Vox. So hopefully after the break, they've managed to reset their mindset. And they're like, okay, guys, let's chill out now. Let's get the K in cool, and let's show Team Secret what we can do. We heard from Rome how they do like to play Team Secret, and they're confident that they can win. And now that they have a composition that I think suits them quite nicely, they have that ability to turn this around. But Mr. K-Cool taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, he is this time. Achilles shot yet again from Palmatoro, but the rotate down from Great Khali might scare them off. Secret, it's hard for them to go too deep here, but Mowgli wants to steal that camp away, can't quite do it. Secret, with the damage onto Mr. K. Cool, though, they might be able to get a bit of a base of operations in the enemy jungle here. They are going to clear out some vision at the very least, but no quick kills going across.
Doesn't seem that way. I did notice that Team Secret were rotating up to the lane, so I thought maybe they were trying to set up a plan to Great Khali. And there it was. But unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize off the back of any of that. So Team Secret returning to their half of the jungle. So we have to remember that Team Secret right now currently hold the lead at 1-0. They only need one more to guarantee themselves third place, and that will give them enough points to qualify at least for 8th seed in the live championships for spring. Hang on a second, Mr. Keiko and Mowgli having a bit of a dancer down. Nice rotate from Kvalifar.
Yeah, can he make something happen here? That's the question. Mowgli is super low. Keiko does pick up the first blood, but he might go down. One or two more attacks would do it. Kvalifar seals the deal with the afterburn now into Net Toilette. He's not quite done, or is he? Yes, he is. Palmatoro, unlikely to be able to chase any further here, but he might be able to pick up these camps.
Yeah, I think that's all he wants to do. Just steal away as much as he can from Mr. Keiko, deny him as much farm as possible, given that Palmatoro is currently sitting a little bit behind in the farm department. Same for Kvalifar. Trying to set up a play. Ooh!
That nearly backfired.
But he's cool. Calculated. Kvalifar. That's what the K in Kvalifar means. Calculated. Calculated Valifar.
We've discussed English problems and you before, but I think a big one is apparently spelling.
No, man, because you had a K to sound cool, as we've already established. Is speaking of the man himself, trying to put up a little bit more forward aggression once again. They're really trying to shut down this aggressive team, or team composition rather, that Team Secret have built themselves up, and they're not doing a bad job for themselves in this early game.
Yeah, they do actually have the gold lead on Mousesports, sitting about 500 ahead at this point. Mostly coming from the jungle farm, I believe. About 5 additional there. Ali, though, getting bullied about a little bit. Kvalifar, Palmatoro trying to make his life difficult. Neither one of these teams have really found a big advantage yet, though. Things are going relatively slowly. Kvalifar does have to be careful as Net Toilette moves up, but Kali doesn't really want to commit for the fight. He's going to play it safe for now.
Mousesports doing really well in the farm department. You can see the really big advantage beginning to develop for Mr. Keiko. Currently sitting at 32 to 24 of Palmatoro. Kvalifar now in a 2v1.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull this one off. That Toilette decides... Kvalifar doing a good job there of dealing some damage back onto Great Kali. Going to be able to be capitalized on, even though he's in that...
I just realized that Palmatoro is Crystal. That's interesting.
Oh, cool. We saw that yesterday in NA, and it did some pretty serious work, although I believe they lost that game.
We've seen Crystal Ringo many a time. Many a time.
Yeah, but we haven't seen
the first
it
time we saw it, and we were like, I don't know how this is going to work, and then he one-shot people with his ult, and we were like, oh, so that's how it works, right, okay. I'm really surprised that they put it in the jungle, because you lose a lot of that early game presence, which is why I really like having Ringo in the jungle. And it explains why Team Secret have been pushed around so much. So that's actually really interesting. Going for more of a burst, this actually has much more of a scaling sort of presence now towards Team Secret's lineup. Especially depending on how Kvalifar decides to build. It looks like he's actually going for that Sorrow Blade. So yeah, Team Secret, they had the opportunity to go for a very early game comp, but no, they decided they're going for more of a mid to late game one with the way in which they're building. So that's quite interesting. Quite a unique adaptation. And they're just going to be trying to catch a target out and burst them down. We know how much that damage that Hellfire Brew can do. We're going to have to see how effective it can be, though.
I think when comboed with Kvalifar diving in and, using a lot of his bursts, that is going to be a tremendous amount of damage. Plus, just in general, they have a lot of AoE. Kvalifar's in a bad position right now, though, has to afterburn away as the gank comes across from Mousesports. They're still sitting about 400 gold in the lead, but nothing too tremendous and no real new advantages being built for either of these teams.
Not just yet. Kvalifar having to play rather defensively. Try to set up a 3-man gank up in the lane, but afterburn makes it very difficult to actually set up that collapse. But, ooh, Team Secret, they're going for a collapse of their own.
They wanted to find a fight there. Achilles' shot did open up an opportunity, but Kvalifar didn't want to commit, whereas it looks like Mowgli maybe did, so... Not necessarily the best communication coming across from Team Secret. You could kind of see some cracks there. That Toilette making his way up to the lane again. Trying to shut down Kvalifar as much as possible, but look at how much damage he takes whenever he does that. Afterburn actually going to knock him into Mowgli. This could be a kill on the Net Toilette. Vanguard buys up a bit of space as Mowgli takes a lot of damage from the forward barrage. Mr. K cool rotates up. Deters Team Secret from going for that play. Very close fights here, and in this early moving into mid-game stage, Mowgli nearly gets blindly taken down there by the forward barrage.
Does look like that Team Secret, they want to continue this aggression just a little bit. They did try to catch out Net Toilette. They thought that he was out of position. But given that He is playing that on. You are naturally tanky. He's already completed the Fountain of Renewal. So he wasn't that easy to shut down. Now he's hit level 6, which means he does have a level over Mowgli. That Gauntlet is available to force these fights, and they might use it now.
Oh, Palmatoro, he got interrupted during the Hellfire Brew by the Gauntlet. That is massive. Great Kali turning this one right on its head, picking up that first kill down onto Kvalifar. Palmatoro might want to take a fight here. Got to be careful as he is very low. Mowgli has the fountain, buys a bit of time, but here comes the death from above. Mr. K Cool going for that forward barrage. One more tick would get Palmatoro, and it does. Mousesports with a very nice fight there. Palmatoro needed to be better positioned if he wanted to commit to that ultimate.
Ooh, fantastic stuff coming in from Mousesports. We were talking about how they needed to reset their mindset, and they appear to have done just that with a phenomenal Gauntlet, interrupting a lot of Team Secret's damage, but they want to try and get this gold mine for themselves.
Very low energy on Great Kali. The payout collected still by him, though, as Mr. K Cool taken very low. Net Toilette as well, but Mowgli can't really afford to keep this fight going by himself. Needs the backup. Palmatoro on his way from base. Might be able to pick up this kill, but Mr. K Cool trying to go for the recall. Mowgli, he doesn't see it. They only get the one kill. And of course, the gold mine not able to be stolen away. So Team Secret do not come out ahead, even though that fight looked pretty good for them.
So overall, it was a 1-for-1. We have to remember that the kill down onto Kvalifar is what enabled Mousesports to even set up for that gold miner play. And yes, they did lose Net Toilette off the back of it, but because of the gold mine secure coming out from Mousesports, they're going to be pretty happy with that exchange. Now they're sitting at about a 2,000 gold lead or just underneath, and this is great for them. They definitely reset their mindset. They've definitely come into game 2 feeling a lot more confident, and this is the sort of Mousesports that we were expecting. If things keep going this way, we could very well have a pretty interesting third place match on our hands.
You're not wrong, but as we move forwards, it's going to be interesting to see what happens every time Palmatoro has Hellfire Brew off cooldown. Because obviously the first one was denied, but I feel like if it had landed, that fight never would have gone Mousesports' way, because two people were stacked on top of one another, so the splash damage would have just wiped them out. I definitely think we're going to have to watch closely for that moving forward. Net Toilette takes a decent chunk, but Kvalifar, look at the damage. Afterburn trying to get away. He is going to make it back to the turret, but Mr. Keiko will really start to put down the hurt as we move into this mid-game.
Oh, very clutch stuff. Kvalifar forced into that choke point right there where he ate a lot of the damage coming up from Mr. Keiko, because obviously when you force yourself into that narrow space, it becomes so much easier to land that forward barrage. Because they force Kvalifar back, Mousesports, they're going to be able to secure themselves the first turret of the game, which is once again another overall massive map objective that they're able to pick up for themselves. So Mousesports looking to put up a much stronger fight in game 2, and they want to try and drag this series to all 3 games.
They do indeed, and I think they've realized, they've said, guys, let's just calm down, refocus, because we want to get to the championships. This is our guaranteed shot. Who knows what teams are going to be strong in Qualifier 2. This is our time to shine, and they have definitely reset their mindset, like you said. They pulled an alpha and maybe rebooted, but Team Secret haven't really found any openings yet. If they do manage to get a few, things could turn quickly. So Mousesports can't sit back and rest on their laurels. They got to be careful moving forwards.
Yeah, look at this now. Team Secret sitting in the shop, picking up a couple items. Swordblade finished for Kvalifar. Palmatoro been sitting on that Shadow Gust for a while now. Mowgli decided to go for the Storm Guard banner, so he wants to be a little bit more aggressive in his itemization. Has completed now that Fountain of Renewal, so he still has that defensive item available as well. Meanwhile, on the other side, Great Kali, Weapon Power Box, something we haven't actually discussed just yet. Completed both the Swordblade and the Tornado Trigger. Absolutely massive power spikes. Also overdriven his A ability, so he's going to be strong in this next fight.
Net Toilette gets jumped on there, trying to face check the bush. Here comes the death from above, though. Kvalifar, the main target, Mr. K Cool, is going to pick that one up with a Hellfire Brew. 515 onto Mr. K Cool. Palmatoro trying to kite back. Great Kali is going to pick him up, though. It's a 3-for-1. Mousesports taking a big fight.
Wow, so this time Mousesports able to just shut down the front line of Kvalifar, who has no defensive items whatsoever. And I just talked about how Great Kali going to be hitting a massive spike, having just completed that Tornado Trigger. If you do not shut down Great Kali, he's just going to run amok in these engagements. All of the emphasis went down to shutting down Mr. Keiko, which enabled Great Kali to be that fantastic carry that he is so well known for, and he just cleaned up that fight. He's going to secure another turret, as well as the minion mine, but I don't know if he's going to get out of this situation.
He's doing a lot of damage back onto Palmatora, though. Might be able to find a return kill. Net Toilette, in fact, is the one to pick that up, and now Kvalifar and Mowgli on the hunt, trying to go for some more stun. Coming out of that afterburn, Net Toilette is eating a lot of damage right now. Doesn't have anyone to Vanguard to. It's going to be 2 quick kills. Picked up trading for Palmatora for Team Secret, but even still, 4,000 gold in deficit right now. Team Secret, they've got their backs against the wall.
So where have this Mousesports been all day? They have really been struggling to find these opportunities to make these sort of aggressive plays, and it has taken them 4 games to finally find their mojo. Now they're really starting to have an impact. They're really starting to put the pressure onto Team Secret by straight up outplaying them. A lot of these team fights are just going so heavily in their favor because of the way in which they're positioning and because of their target focus. Kvalifar, with such little defensive itemization, is effectively a glass cannon glaive that you can just put all of your attention onto, shut down quickly, and then quickly turn around to clean up the fight. So Mousesports are just playing these team fights so well right now that they may very well be able to drag this out to that Game 3 that we have been discussing so much.
We really need to see Palmatora hitting multiple targets with Hellfire Brew. The problem is for Team Secret that there's multiple big threats on Mousesports' side. You know, you have to deal with Mr. K, Cool Sky, and Great Kali's Vox. At the moment, they're only really being able to shut down 1 per fight. Mr. K, Cool has really got Kvalifar's numbers as well, jumping on top of him, getting those forward barrages down every single time, going for the kills. 20 seconds till Kraken spawns. Likely going to be a big point of contest between these 2 teams.
Yeah, have a look at... I was just about to talk about the vision, but there isn't any. So neither team deciding that scout traps are important. I would encourage people at home to pick up those scout traps when trying to set up around the gold miner, but given that there is only a tiny amount of gold underneath it, and the Kraken is about to spawn, the Kraken could actually be the target focus for Mousesports right now. They've decided to pick up a couple of infusions. This could be their opportunity to force a fight.
It could indeed, but they also need to be careful about picking a fight in too small a choke. The AoE damage from Team Secret could be massive if Kvalifar gets a few of those crits down. If Palmatora can find the Hellfire Brew, Great Kali sitting near the wall, going to be spotted out, I believe, by that flare. Secret knows what's up right now, but they need to be careful about biting off a fight that they can't really afford to take. That Toilette, you know he's fishing for a gauntlet, trying to find that opening. Neither one of these teams willing to commit to anything just yet, though.
A lot of flares being purchased by Mowgli. He wants to know exactly where Mouse are, but they're going to force the fight now.
That gauntlet stun was massive, but Kvalifar not dead yet. Mr. K Cool trying to change that fact, but he actually goes down first. The crits out of Kvalifar are massive. Team Secret, they need to disengage right now. Kvalifar is way too low. Great Kali would easily be able to pick up that kill. See Kvalifar recalling in the bush. He is going to get away. It's a quick 1-for-1 trade, but the Kraken actually started here by Mousesports. They've got a lot of damage with Great Kali. I don't actually know if Team Secret can get here in time to stop this. This could be real bad for Team Secret.
Well, they're on their way right now. There is no Warhorn. All of the boots are on cooldown. You notice that Mousesports are dragging it into the brush. I don't know if they can steal this. They stole it!
Kvalifar finds the steal. He wants Great Kali as well, but look at the damage coming out of him. Mowgli can't stick on top of him. Kvalifar just needs to book it out of there. That steal might just have kept Team Secret in this game. I think they would have been done for if the Kraken had gone the way of Mouse.
Wow. Great Kvalifar somehow channeling his inner Great Kali and being able to make the glaive pay to keep Team Secret in this game. They're very likely going to get themselves this turret, but I don't know if they're going to get anything additional off the back of it. Palmatora going to use the Hellfire Brew.
Is going to land onto Great Kali. There's no reflex block. Look at the burn damage. It's actually taking him down pretty fast. He's going to fall. Palmatora finds the kill. All of a sudden, we're within 3,000 gold. And that Kraken going the way of Team Secret is big. Not too much on the map to fight for if you're Mousesports right now. They've just got to wait for things to reset.
Wow. So, things going very back and forth all of a sudden. It all stems back to that very drawn-out fight between Team Secret and Mousesports before the Kraken even went down. Kvalifar able to pick up the kill onto Mr. K-Call, as well as that Mousesports able to get their own kill down onto Palmatora. So, with both big carries unavailable, both junglers unavailable, sorry, does mean that Kvalifar and Great Kali are the only 2 left. But Kvalifar was too low, he had to back. Mousesports realize this and they try to force the Kraken. They thought they had a lot more damage than they actually did. All of a sudden, Mowgli, his Warhorn just came up in time. They then use that movement speed to close the gap, and Kvalifar just barely able to get that steal and keep Team Secret in this game. Right now, Mousesports still hold on to the gold lead. They're still feeling pretty confident, but it does allow Team Secret to buy more time and find more opportunities to come back into this game.
It does indeed. Team Secret definitely aren't out of this one, but they need to have the perfect storm of events, get the burst down onto the targets that matter. As it currently stands, Mousesports controlling the map quite well, pushing Team Secret towards their base, making it very difficult for them to really move out, get any vision down on the map. We've got Kraken spawning relatively soon, I would imagine, so I think Mousesports is going to be wary about letting another steal happen, probably going to play much more safe moving forward.
Does seem that way, but look at what Mousesports are doing right now. They're just stealing away all of the jungle from Team Secret. They want to make sure that Team Secret are starved out as much as possible. Wow. That looks like a heavy jacket picked up for Great Khali. He is super worried about the damage coming out from Kvalifar, and we just have to address this point. Kvalifar going glass cannon does mean that while he does output a lot of damage, he's also very squishy, and we could see that happen right now.
Mowgli taking the brunt so far. The forward barrage does land a few ticks onto him, but Mousesports hold their trigger fingers. They don't want to get too itchy. Throw down a gauntlet there, for example. Team Secret. Hell, they're a little bit scared, but it makes sense for them to be scared right now, that's for darn sure.
Okay, Kraken.
This time, there's just no reaction.
Yeah, we'll see about that. You have to remember Kraken going down quite slowly. Oh, as I say, that half health. Nope, that's gone. That's
Not
done
slowly at all.
That's not slowly at all. Yeah, that's going to be a clean pickup for Mouse. I think that it was expected from Team Secret, so they're going to let them have that one. They're not going to risk forcing a fight in that sort of a choke point. So now, this is it. This is breaking point for Team Secret. Mousesports, they're setting up the push. They don't actually have any minion candies to buff up those minions, but they don't care. They have a Kraken behind them. They're going to pop those infusions, and they could force a fight right now.
Mowgli, he takes a lot of damage right away here. Kvalifar also needs to be careful. They're trying to shove this wave out as quickly as they can. Lots of damage onto Palmatoro. The zoning out of Mr. K-Cool and those forward barrages is massive right now. Very difficult as well for Team Secret to kill a Kraken. They don't have a lot of damage for that kind of an objective. The push not really being stopped at all at the moment for Team Secret. We really need to see that big Hellfire Brew. There's Attack of the Pack. Mowgli trying to make something happen here. Gauntlet's whoa!
That's huge.
That lands onto 3 members. Great Khali, look at the damage he's taking right now. The fountain is going to come across. Mr. Kvalifar trying to jump on the back line and find a return. Doesn't have it though, and now the turnaround. Mr. K-Cool with the wait for it. That's going to be so much damage out of forward barrage. Kraken finds another turret, but Team Secret have held. They're going to find that kill. They're not going to lose any more. One turret still stands for them. Things are looking dangerous for Team Secret. They are on the brink of moving to this game 3.
Wow, Team Secret are able to hold Mouse off for the time being with a phenomenal Hellfire Brew. I feel like Net Toilette not picking up a Crucible is going to be a large part of why they could lose this game, because the splash damage and the burn damage coming out from Palmatoro is too big for Mousesports to just underestimate right now. It's such a big risk not having that Crucible. Yes, everyone does have that reflex block available, but still, if you then reflex block that, you're then in a position to get collapsed on by Kvalifar. So I feel like that Crucible is a really big item pickup that they need to put a little bit more focus onto. But they're the professional team. I'm just the caster. We'll see if they can make things work for them as Team Secret right now. Grouping up somewhat, probably the most aggressively we've seen them in the last 5-10 minutes or so. And they're trying to set up a play. A lot of flares going down from both teams. Infusions picked up. This could be the fight.
There goes the gauntlet, but Net Toilette, the one taking the most damage right now. Palmatoro goes through the gauntlet. Gonna go for that Hellfire Brew. It lands onto Mr. Keiko. Massive
all
splash
3
damage.
members!
That was huge. Great Khali is kiting decently, though. Mowgli, very low on health. Kvalifar goes a little bit too far trying to pick up that, but Net Toilette goes down. Mowgli gets away. Palmatoro wants more. Great Khali, he can't get aced right now. 50 seconds on his respawn. Thaddeus, what is happening?
We talked about this literally a second ago. The Crucible would have completely changed that fight. The splash damage coming out from Palmatoro, hitting all 3 members, as well as the burn damage to add insult to injury, resulted in Team Secret coming out ahead. This is the risk of that late game Ringo that is going Crystal Power. The glass cannon build from Kvalifar, it finally works when there are targets to clean up, and pretty much all of Mousesports are just forced to run away.
Oh boy.
This is
Kraken.
a very tense game. The Kraken is likely going to be the target focus for Team Secret, and with that, they could come with the comeback that they needed.
They're really taking their time starting this off. I feel like they should just go for it. They actually have vision right now due to the minion wave. They know Mousesports is miles away. Kraken falling pretty fast as Kvalifar doing the most damage to it. This is anyone's game right now. Even with the Kraken, I feel like there could be a fight win for Mousesports. They just need to lock down Palmatoro. Team Secret, they've got the Kraken now. They're actually in the gold lead for what feels like the first time in forever. This best of 3 series might not go any further if Mousesports can't defend here.
They've got a lot of flares available. They've spotted out that Mousesports are trying to set up the flank, so Team Secret playing very defensive. I don't know if it'll work, though.
That's the gauntlet coming across. Mr. K Cool already pretty low, but Palmatoro struggling to find the opportunity for the ultimate. Great Kali wants to go in for the kill. Can he find Palmatoro? He does. Kvalifar, he's pretty low on the front, but he wants to go back in. Mr. K Cool, the target. Mowgli, he's jumping in too. K Cool goes down. The Kraken, it's still alive. It's killing the turrets in Mousesports base after they did such a good job of coming back from all of the losses today. Team Secret, they're gonna take this game and secure themselves 3rd place and a spot in the Spring Championships.
My word, what a 3rd place game. This definitely could have been finals worthy, given how hard Mousesports fought in this second game. They seem to have reset their mentality completely, but they just struggled to finally close things out. And you know, I hate to harp on about it, but I do feel that if they'd had a Crucible, it really would have made the difference. If you'd been able to mitigate the burst damage that Palmatoro was throwing out with that ultimate, a lot of those fights that were going in the favor of Team Secret would not have gone that way. Incredible series regardless, really impressive stuff from Mousesports in the second game. I really like the way in which they were able to just reset their mindset and come in fresh and come in hard, but Team Secret demonstrating why they are still the European champions. Even
well,
at
you
3rd place.
say that, but 3rd place is what they're picking up here. We're going to find out who's at least the champions for this qualifier as we move forward into our finals. It is